Monty's here, back with another recording. In today's recording, we will be recording another Pirate 101 episode, but in today's episode will be a short but sweet tutorial guide for newcomers of the Pirate 101 experience, and for comers that played the game but aren't sure about what origins they should pick and how their parents died. So let's get into it.
Get down! She's going to blow! It's one of these prisoners. Check the ones down there, monkey.
I'm on it.
So you start off with Mr. Gandry and Boochbeard talking about what are you, like, where are you from, what's everything about you. So I'll just stick with that.
Maybe so. We know you're an orphan.
So let me get into this. I'm gonna just go over the history of Pirate 101 before getting into the entire tutorial guide. So pretty much there's four main things of the spiral during the Golden Age. There was the Marleybone, there was the Valencians, there was the Monquisition, and then there was a Polaris. The Polarians, which are polar bears, Monquistan are monkeys, Valencians are robots, clockworks, and Marleybonians are dogs. So pretty much all of Pirate 101 basically has this kind of unique kick to it that every mob, for the most part, that you see are animals, which I like about the game, which makes it far more unique of an MMO compared to others. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. Let's get into the state and just the whole idea. So these four were in a war, and they were just trying to get the most powerful. And Emperor Napoleon, which was the Polarian leader, or I should say the dictator, because pretty much Napoleon is basically Napoleon in the French, and how he was conquering all over the spiral, and pretty much it was Marleybonians, Monquisition, and the Valencians against the Polarians, and it was a brutal battle for like I don't remember, but I'm gonna say like maybe 100 or so years of just battling until eventually they fell and the Valencians took over and just turned against pretty much the Monquisition and the Marleybonians, and the Valencians have been conquering and been the most powerful throughout the spiral pretty much. And you, as the character starting an MMO, his goal is to just complete the spiral and conquer Valencia and just defeat the head of the Valencian, at least for the first arc. There's going to be more in probably a couple of years or so, because Pirate's just in a state of trying to get better. They've been updating more, which I respect, but it's going to take a while. But anyways, that's not what we're going for. So let's get back into the tutorial. How do you lose your parents? So, Armada, Shipwreck, Mutiny, Squid Attack, and Storm. So let me explain this. Alright. So pretty much the main idea of this part is just to explain more about where your parents died and how they died, and which are the companions for the selections. So, the companions. If you are lost in a shipwreck, you get Lucky Jack Russell. That is a picture of Lucky Jack Russell's final promotion. There's about four or three promotions for each of these guys. Milo Greytail. You get him if you're if your parents died lost in Storm. Squid Attack is you get the crab, Burgess. He's okay. I'd say Lucky was your best, but I'll get into that later as I say the rest. Gaspar de Villiers, blasted by the Armada. You get him, and Dead Mike allows you to recruit. Yeah, Ship Mutiny allows you to recruit Dead Mike. Sorry about that. Anyways, overall, out of all these 5, I will recommend you to get Lucky Jack Russell. He is just one of the best companions in the game, as it says in the first sentence. Lucky Jack Russell is one of the greatest companions to get in the Presidio, from the Presidio 5. So pretty much in the Presidio, it's a quest as you quest into Pirate 101. You talk with this guy named the Frog Father, but I won't get into like everything to expose. He asks you to do a task, and you have to go to the Presidio, and this is when you get either of these 5. But I suggest for mainly all your characters, maybe besides Swashbuckler, if you prefer Milo, it doesn't matter, but I suggest you get Lucky Jack Russell. Lucky Jack Russell, it could be a serious benefit towards you throughout the whole game, especially for Privateer, for Buccaneer maybe, Swashbuckler maybe not, Witch Doctor, because Witch Doctor's mainly range, because it's a wand class. It's basically like if you play Wizard 101, it's basically like that. He's a wand hitting class. But overall, to just get the point out, Lucky Jack Russell is your go-to. So let's just pick Shipwreck.
In search of buried treasure? Now there's a tale.
Yeah, there's dialogue of all of them that Mr. Gandry and Moochbeard say. For example, let's do Armada, because they just talk about everything.
There was no dishonor in dying for the
Lost in search of buried treasure? Now there's a tale.
Anyways, let's get into Who Raised You. So let's get into that. All 5 are Grizzleheim, naturally tough. Born Sneak, Skull Island. Mushu, born warrior. Marleybone, keen eyes. And Crocotopia, naturally spooky. So, what birthplace should you pick? Crocotopia is the naturally spooky. It gives you a buff on mainly everything that is powered, like 5% of the benefits are going towards you of that naturally spooky. That's that benefit for powers throughout every class permanently, because all these origins you have permanent marks on. So it's like in Wizard there's permanent marks, like you're a fire, like your class is permanent, but these are marks that benefit you that are permanent. Raised in that Crocotopia, naturally spooky, it's good. Raised in Grizzleheim, naturally tough. Raised in Mushu, born warrior, you get plus 5 weapon power that could benefit you towards the end sometimes. And Keen Eyes, which is just plus 5 accuracy. And finally, Born Sneak, which is a plus 5 dodge. Out of all of these, for 4 classes, Privateer, Musketeer, Swashbuckler, and Witch Doctor, they are your go-to to get naturally spooky. You could switch with the Swashbuckler to get naturally tough or Born Warrior, but mainly naturally spooky is your main go-to. I did naturally tough because Swashbuckler is less HP class, and I thought it would benefit. It does benefit, but overall, you need to get naturally spooky. Naturally spooky is so good. Endgame, and just overall, it makes your powers more powerful. Born Warrior and Naturally Tough are your go-tos for Buccaneer, because you're not really going to use naturally spooky for a Buccaneer, especially Buccaneer's a hit class. It's not like you're doing poisons and stuff for Buccaneer. So normally you do naturally tough or Born Warrior. I did Born Warrior to get the 5 more damage. I don't think it really benefits that much. I think it helps, but you should get naturally tough because naturally tough is like the best for that. So that's pretty much what I wanted to go over. You could get these other two, but they're not really going to help you endgame. I'm just saying these 3 are the best depending on what you feel, but these 2 I feel are the best. But the main one, naturally spooky. Like 4 out of 5 characters you're going to pick naturally spooky. Like, except, like, period, because that will benefit you overall at the end of the game. Anyways, let's get back into the game. So I'm going to pick Crocatopian. More dialogue, that's cool. Gives you like almost like a little perspective of what it's about. And the classes. Musketeer, you tend to use guns. You could go shooty staffy, but I'll make another video on guides and stuff about that because that's not really important right now. Witch Doctor, Hoodoo. You're just spooky, you have powers, and you use a wand. Privateer, you're a more tanky, supportive type of person. Like you like to support your friend or something that plays this game. Like you're gonna be a support. You could do damage, believe me, but you're gonna be more of a support heal. And pirating on this guy is gonna be harder solo, but if you have a friend, it will go by easy. Buccaneer, a good hit class. Later game, it's gonna be really powerful, I say. That's about Buccaneer. And finally, Swashbuckler, one of my favorites. Swashbuckler doesn't have much HP, so it's going to be a struggle, but you hit like a truck no matter what. As you level up, you get more and more powerful with this class, and by far it's one of the funnest classes to just solo and just quest on your own. You can quest with people, believe me, it's still fun, but that Swashbuckler, it's just an amazing experience and maybe the best way to start off so you could know how tough of a game this is, but also to know the fact that you're using a really good class and you can switch it up. But overall, those are the 5 classes. You could pick whatever. They're all really good. Mainly, the main 3 I use is Witch Doctor, Musket, and Privateer. I use my Buck and my Swashbuckler, but overall, you could choose whatever. I suggest Swashbuckler to start off with. It's fun. So I'm just going to pick Musketeer just for example.
You must be a musketeer. Musketeers are the
Gotta skip on that. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at this. You could pick the hair color. You could change what styles you have. Face, skin. I'm just gonna leave it at that. You could change it like that. And there you go. Flag. You could always change your flag for if you pay 100 crowns, which isn't a lot of money. I'm gonna say that's not even $1, or maybe it is. I don't know currency really well on that, but normally I go with like based off of the class. I choose something that like represents Musketeer, represents something. So I'm gonna probably do the eagle because that's probably the coolest. Ooh, that actually looks cool. There, you did a good color.
Now choose how the field behind the icon is arranged.
Depending on what you feel. I'm gonna try and do... Oh, I like that. So I'm gonna do red, black.
The colors you pick for your flag will also... Now let's get you out of this confounded...
So there's a tutorial, I'm gonna do it. It's just basically a guide how to like play.
Well, now what are we supposed to do?
Just dialogue, just trying to break out.
That paddle's broke free.
So WASD are your keybinds to move. You could do the arrow keys, but that's really tougher in my opinion. Do just WASD to move, or you can hold your mouse button.
Run over to the cell and press the X key to talk to the prisoner.
Talk with the prisoner, or just talk with anyone is X.
The X key lets you
So
to the lever. You've gained a top.
Come on,
got
pirate.
your first companion. Now you gotta talk with Boochbeard and Gandry and get off. Pretty much the setting is you're in a prison with the Armada, since you got caught.
This Deacon.
Spam.
I think not.
One of the main guys in the pirate experience. You're gonna have your first battle.
Time you buffoons learned to
Just get
hold your
to
trifling.
experience the battle.
This is a battle board. You
So you just pretty much use your mouse the whole thing.
Use your mouse to choose a target.
As it says, Gandry is talking.
The blue line shows the path you will follow. Perfect.
Now you click done. It's pretty much all mouse play when you battle.
Yar, well done.
Look out. Now it is her turn.
Always love the Battle Angel fight.
Beware those spark throwers. That's how guns work in the spiral. They generate a burst of electricity to stun you into submission. Be careful. If your health falls below zero,
As
you'll be knocked out.
Boochbeard says, if you reach 0, you'll actually die, and then you have to redo the fight depending on what you're doing.
I will help you.
There we go. We got Wing Chun as your other companion. Then you hit the other Battle Angel.
That's it. Now click done.
Normally you get about 2 to 3 people in the beginning
Down.
on your side, and then it'll eventually reach the 4. You and then 3 of your companions.
Hi, your new friend's full of surprises.
Dang.
Time to play for keeps. Click up now. Click.
Now for your
Perfect. Click done to end your turn.
Perfect. Yeah, you get to see, whenever they do epics, you tend to see that pretty much.
Not so fast. Do you think you can defy the might of
Now, this is just another part. You don't actually have to fight these guys. They'll blow it up.
Don't bother.
Boochbeard.
Fire! Impressive. It seems we've
Oh, no.
underestimated you, young pirate.
Don't die,
You'll
Boochbeard.
regret making an enemy of the army.
So now you get your first experience on a ship. So WASD normal the same as you're walking, and you have 4 attacks when you ever fight ships. But normally in the beginning you only get 2 because it's the beginning until you level up more. Z is your boost.
Still with us. To engage, Captain.
There's objectives you can't really see right now. I'll get into that, but pretty much your goal is just to get to the Skull Island port because you just basically escaped a prison because you're a pirate and you tend to get out. You're like almost like any other pirate that gets out. Captain Avery is your main guy in the objective in the beginning.
Good luck and good hunting.
And pretty much that's what you got at. This is experience. You get my quest, and this will be your first quest in the beginning. That's all I really have for y'all to just do and stuff if you ever play Pirate. That is my guide. If you guys ever think of something else, and think of another video that I should make, just let me know down in the comments. I thank you guys for coming along and listening to what I feel is best for your character. Thank you for coming along, and I will see you in another video. Goodbye.